Hey, how's it going, guys? Preston Air Citizen Response. Got another video coming to you guys talking about why I switched from the Holosun 407K as my carry optic of choice to the Trijicon RMRCC. Hi guys, so now we're going to get into the conversation of today's video, why I switched from the 407K on my SIG to the Trijicon RMRCC. So a little bit of backstory. Y'all know I've been using the Holosun 407K for well over a year now. I've pushed a lot of people towards this optic. I think in terms of getting into the red dot game, it's a good option. Let's talk about what happened. So some of you know that I had the EPS carry. I was one of the first people to get it. And I accidentally dropped it and messed up the internals. And after that, I didn't trust the optic for carry, so I switched back to the Holosun 407K. So essentially what happened was I went back to using it as normal carry gun. And some of y'all know what I'm talking about when you have the carry shelf in the bathroom. I decided to rest my gun on the carry shelf like I had done 1,000 times before, no problems. Now, when this incident occurred, I did not have this pillow wedge. I had a Dr. Scholl's wedge, so it's a little bit more sticky. So I've never had any issues, even if the toilet paper holder was a little slanted, never had any problems with it adhering. So what happened, I had the gun in the holster safely, sitting like this, and I guess gravity decided to do its thing, and it took the whole thing, it slid right off, probably about 2-3 feet in the air, and I don't think it landed directly on the optic because I wasn't watching it, so it's hard to tell. But the gun in the holster took a pretty significant impact onto the floor. So got home, right, first thing I did was safety checked and cleared the gun, as this gun is. And I decided, okay, let's see, make sure the optic's still working. So some of you know who have open emitter optics, you can see a little bit of red flashing from the emitter being projected onto the glass. So I presented my dot and it wasn't there. I tried it again, I presented my dot and it wasn't there. Now, I have drilled this presentation in tens of thousands of times to the point where I don't even have to think about it. I know the dot's gonna be there. So now I knew something was awry. So I decided to fish around a little bit and boom, there it was. The dot was way off of the glass for my normal presentation. I'm talking at 7 yards, I probably would have been a foot off of the target. So this gave me another opportunity to take another Holosun optic off of my gun and send it back to customer service for warranty. So while my optic was off at warranty for a few weeks, I had the distinct pleasure of painfully shooting iron sights again, which really humbled me and made me realize, I don't want to say I'm dependent on the dot, but it makes me appreciate the dot that much more. Shooting past 10 yards is absolutely night and day difference. During that time, one of my friends has been carrying the RMRCC for a long time on his carry gun. And you know, now at this point, I'm questioning, well, what's durable? What's durable enough for me? Because I'm unfortunately, unintentionally really hard on guns and optics. He actually had an RMRCC and decided to prove its durability by throwing it as hard into the ground, rocky gravel ground as he could. It actually messed up the Glock. It popped the slide off of the frame. We were able to reassemble it, and then right after that, able to confirm 5 hits at 50 yards on a C-zone piece of steel. So color me impressed. I do not think my Holosun would have survived that, seeing as it didn't survive a 2-foot pretty normal fall in the holster. So I said, you know what? Let's do the RMRCC. Let's give it a try. Now the problem with the RMRCC is every single other optic on the market in this footprint is cut for the RMSC. So the Holosuns, the Shield optics, and whatever other optics are out there are all cut for the same footprint except for the RMRCC. This left me in a bit of a pickle as the options for mounting the RMRCC on the standard cut on the 365X, they're abysmal. They are way high up. The height over bore is ridiculous and it looks really stupid. And I want my carry gun to look cool because it's the most important gun I have, so why would I not have it look cool? So I was researching around options on the market, what I could do. I actually saw this company called Norso. They make custom slides. And this one is actually pre-directly cut for the RMRCC. Now, this is not an official endorsement of a product yet. As you guys know, I like to put a lot of time and thousands of rounds through products before I endorse them because these are life-saving tools and they have to be 100% reliable every single time, regardless of their circumstances. So I reached out to Norso And I told him my predicament. Hey, I'm trying to test out the RMRCC. I had a Holosun fail, and I'm limited on options. Would you guys be willing to send me out one of these slides to test? And they were gracious enough to do that. So I will have a dedicated review in the future talking about this slide setup, the configuration with the gun. But in the meantime, what I am running is the RMRCC. This is the 6.5 MOA version. I like the big dot. I think it serves well for a concealed carry optic with the Norso slide, and everything else is stock internals except for the Wilson Combat Grip Module. So that's what we are currently running at the moment. All right, guys, if you stuck around for this long, you know that at the end of all of my videos, I like to talk a little bit about my faith. As the gun stuff, right, the concealed carry stuff, super important. Obviously, I invest a lot of my own time and money into it, putting out good information for others. But at the end of the day, the verse that's been on my mind a lot regarding these things about fixing our eyes on what is seen versus fixing our eyes on what is unseen can be really convicting to me, because, you know, us guys in this type of world can get really fixated on the here and the now. But scripture says, you know, in 2 Corinthians 4, I think 13 to 14, talks about fixing our eyes on the eternal, right? Fixing our eyes on what is unseen. That can be really difficult for me, but it's something that's really been on my mind recently. I wanted to share that with you. I don't know what you're going through in your life. Some of you guys know my occupation. I'm a nurse in the ER, and I see a lot of death and suffering on a daily basis. So I'm constantly having to pray that God would give me eyes to be fixed on the unseen, right? Because there's a lot of destruction and suffering in this world. But fixing our eyes on the eternal, right? Focusing on, you know, my body may be failing me in the here and now, but God's going to make it better in the future, and He's going to redeem all of those who claim the name of Christ on that glorious day when He returns. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Get out there, train hard, stay safe.